What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Hopefully you had a good weekend overall. Had a lot of fun here, of course, with the Spawncast, and kept an eye on TGS, Tokyo Game Show. We're going to be going over some of the announcements here to get you guys kind of caught up on some of the bigger stuff, the more interesting stuff that took place. And yeah, that kind of has to deal with Death Stranding because I'm still confused, but we'll talk a bit about that as well. And then we also have to take a look at, yes, you read the title right, wireless GameCube controllers that seem to be built kind of in the idea of the Wavebird. So it's exciting times. We're going to go over all of that here. First, though, we're going to start with some quick news. We did have a birthday over the weekend. Sunday, or the 23rd, September 23rd, it was actually Nintendo's birthday. They turned 129. Yeah, it was established in 1889, September 23rd, and 2018, it's 129 years, so there you go, Nintendo, a very old company at this point, but of course they worked their way to eventually dealing with video games and everything, and you know, the history, of course, we all know about that with the original NES, and they kind of took off from there, so happy birthday Nintendo there, they're very old, yes. Also, found out some more annoying news with Devil May Cry 5. Yes, it looks like this is going to be a single-player game with apparently multiplayer aspects to it from what we've seen with the shoplifting and everything. But of course, it's a game you think about and I think about as a single player experience. Well, it's going to have microtransactions. That's right. Yes, you're going to be able to buy orbs that then let you buy moves and make your character better. And you also use these orbs to revive in the game during a level, which will then exponentially grow if you keep dying and trying to revive. It's a weird situation. DualShockers did at least try to explain how many orbs you earn when you're playing through, which they were talking about earning, 50, 60,000 orbs in a level, defeating a boss, getting a certain rank, and then it kind of piled up. However, there were some moves that were millions of orbs. So, yeah, apparently you can go in and start buying orbs for a couple bucks and skip parts of the game, essentially. Make your character very good by swiping your credit card in what is mostly a single-player game. It's a weird situation here. However, I do also want to point out, as other people have, Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition also had microtransactions. Now, why did that not raise, I guess, the red flags like this as well? It's a little different now. This is the weird thing here. So, at that time, we were in a pre-Battlefront 2 era. Now we're in a post-Battlefront 2 era where gamers appear much more, I guess, aware of these microtransactions and what these companies are trying to do. We see several places getting called out, obviously, with 2K with their NBA 2K series. There's a lot more backlash to microtransactions after the whole debacle of Battlefront 2 because we see just how far they can go if you allow it. That, I think, is why this is a bigger deal than the Special Edition, which also had a similar setup. But yeah, it looks like Capcom's going to leave those in, which is weird because, if you remember, Monster Hunter, they specifically didn't want loot boxes or progression-based microtransactions. They seemed okay with cosmetics, but progression-based microtransactions didn't really sit well with the director and people creating that game at Capcom because, according to them, they want you to play their game. So then, what's going on down the hall with Devil May Cry 5? Because offering orbs to people means you don't mind them skipping some of your games. So the other concern is this game grindy to push people towards buying those orbs? We're going to see. That's going to be the fun part because they might even have to tweak and balance this thing before it comes out based on what test plays and focus groups are finding. So we'll see. But yeah, microtransactions in Devil May Cry 5. Single-player games with microtransactions that are linked to progression. What a time to be alive. Oh, and it's finally happening. Golf Story is coming out this Friday. Physical edition. I know it's already out on the eShop. Physical edition, the 28th. It's going to be $29.99 at Limited Run Games. So you'll be able to go on there, pick it up, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You're going to keep an eye out for that because these things generally will go up and then sell out. So if you want to get a physical copy of Golf Story, which was my indie game of the year last year, an awesome game, worth I think it's like $10 now on the eShop, or it's been $10 the whole time. Go pick that game up if you haven't played it, especially if you don't have plans to get this physical copy, because it is an outstanding game, and I want to see what Sidebar would do next. I'd like to see them try to tackle maybe a tennis game or something, like kind of in that same vein of Golf Story. It'd be really cool to see, but worth checking out either way. I'm in for that physical copy, absolutely. All right, guys, some of the quick news out of the way. Let's jump into the big news. TGS, Tokyo Game Show, took place over the weekend with a lot of stuff getting shown off, stuff we've already known about, like we just talked about Devil May Cry 5, and then a bunch of other stuff that we did not know about. Things like Sword Art Online, both are coming to the Switch. They put this out, Bandai Namco did, and it sounds like it's at least one of them is coming out soon, the way they keep talking about it. We don't have a release date. We don't even have a Western confirmation at this point. But it sounds like it's out this year, maybe? It's weird. They keep saying soon, soon, soon. I think one of them is coming this year. Maybe the next one is maybe early next year. You're going to see an image of it here. They did also put out trailers and stuff for it. They talked about it heavily. Press release and everything went out. Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet is coming over, and then Sword Art Online Hollow Realization also coming over. I played Sword Art Online on the Vita specifically. I know it's weird. I played it on the Vita, and it's not one that a lot of people played anyway. I hear that these games are okay, and it might be worth checking out on the Switch if you're curious, because I do know a lot of people were asking, is this coming to Switch? Why isn't this coming to Switch? It sounded like it was just in development before the Switch got in their hands for Bandai Namco, and of course they also stood up at one of their conferences with their investors and had to apologize that they were just not ready for the Switch to take off like this, but they vowed to put a lot of energy behind getting stuff over to the Switch, and I have to give them credit. Bandai Namco is pushing hard to get stuff on the Switch for the Japanese audience, since Japan is like fully on board with the Switch, as we're going to see it probably past that PS4 at the end of this year with Pokemon coming up in the holiday. Yeah. So there you go. Sword Art Online, yes, it is coming over. Also, we found out that Phoenix Wright, the trilogy, is coming over to all platforms, not just the Switch. It's coming to Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Steam. Xbox One was a weird one, but hey, if they're porting it to the PS4 and PC, I guess why not, right? Just move it over there as well. This was all announced on a live stream. They did a full live stream of the thing, and they showed off a ton of footage, and it looks clean. Now, if you are a fan of course, the Phoenix Wright games, maybe you played them on the DS or the 3DS or whatnot, of course done by Capcom, very popular, not quite visual novel, I guess you would call it one technically, but it has more puzzle aspects to it and everything, so if you have not played them, it's probably worth checking out. I played the first one, I think. I remember playing one of them, and it wasn't really my type of game, but I understand why people are so into these games, and I might check it out anyway on the Switch when it comes out for that I guess, just the full trilogy. This is a game I don't really know. This isn't a game that makes more sense on the Switch than any other platform, although, of course, Steam users are probably going to jump all over this as well. I don't know if the Xbox One crowd will be on board, but hey, it's Phoenix Wright for everyone, essentially. We also found out another game going to the Sega Ages collection, the Sega Ages line, I guess. We just had Sonic and Thunder Force 4, Lightning Force show up on the Switch. They were done well. M2 did a good job on those, so I'm keeping an eye on this. And we found out about another game. We also found out about the list, the polls that they put out on their Twitter account to see what people want next, and some of you guys might be kind of excited about what could be next, or at least I think they've heard fans here as to what they want the next game to be. But the game that they did announce is Virtual Racing. That's from Sega Ages, so that is coming over, a little 3D type racing, very obviously rudimentary 3D. But then check out some of the listing here with their top 10 games that they, this was a survey they put out on Twitter. Fans voted, and right at the top, Jet Set Radio Series. So that could be Jet Set Radio Future even, Shenmue 1 and 2, Panzer Dragoon RPG, Virtual Fighter, Shining Series. Well, I'd like Shining, that'd be fun. Panzer Dragoon Series, Sakura Wars Series, Puyo Puyo Series, and then the list kind of goes on from there. Skies of Arcadia was also number 11, by the way, for anyone freaking out. Phantasy Star was all the way down at number 15, but take a look at that, guys. Jet Set Radio Series. I mean, really what you have to look at is that the top two are Dreamcast games. So what does that tell you? That to me anyway, that says Sega's probably looking at this and say, okay, M2, can you get Dreamcast on this Switch? Can you get it done? And M2 is very good at this. They're probably going to say, yeah, we could do it. So I think Sega hears people, and I think we could see Dreamcast stuff show up on the Switch in the future. I don't want to say near future because they're still working through their Genesis stuff, but man, how exciting would that be if they came out and said, Jet Set Radio Future, yeah, that's now a Sega Ages game. Get ready for that, next month or something. I'm in for that. That'd be really cool. And then we also got more information on Death Stranding, kinda. They put out a trailer, and I still don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It at least looks like the Norman Reedus is, as we've heard, someone who transports stuff. I guess you'd say like a runner. His job is to take things from point A to point B, and it just seems like whatever he's transporting is very important as he keeps running into, I guess, enemies, as you want to call them that. It was a very weird trailer. It showed off just a new enemy type, a new monster, I guess, maybe a boss character in the game. I don't really know how he's come. That's the one thing they've shown. They haven't showed how he'd be combating this stuff, how he fights or what he can do to defeat them. So that's the big question. Then, of course, the other question is, what's even going on? I don't know. But, I mean, it looks cool, I guess. That's kind of it. And then we also found out about Dragon Quest XI on the Switch, kind of. We found out a title. Dragon Quest XI-S. Yeah, Dragon Quest XI-S. It's, according to the creators, it stands for Special or Switch. They were kind of on both sides. Special Edition, Switch Edition. All I know is Dragon Quest XI has a title that makes it different from the others. Now they're doing full voiceover, which is cool from what they're saying. There probably will be extra content, which is great because I'm playing through the game on the PS4. Absolutely love the game. I really, really do. So I'm going to buy it again on the Switch because I like it on the PS4 so much. A little over 40 hours in, so I'm hoping to finish this thing up this week and talk about it a bit at some point, because I think Dragon Quest XI is just an outstanding RPG that sticks to a traditional, combat style, progression system and everything. Doesn't try to get too crazy or fancy with it. So I like it. But yeah, look forward to that. Hopefully they're ready to tell us more about this in early 2019 as we go forward, and hopefully they can get it out next year, holiday, so it's a year later or something. That's not too bad. All right, guys, that's going to do it for TGS. Let's now move into Splatoon 2. The voice app, no one likes the voice app, right? People, for the most part, I think it's the idea of having to have a phone that you can just call people on next to your Switch that you're then playing, so you have two devices you're using when the Switch should be able to just do it on its own. Well, data miners are finding some interesting stuff in Splatoon 2 right now, specifically icons that seem to show mute and unmute. Now, that's usually something you would use when you're voice chatting on the system, right? When you're doing native voice chat on there. So now people are considering, wow, maybe they are thinking about taking voice chat and putting it into the Switch, and maybe the phone app can just be an optional thing, like we've talked about, right? Companion app, an app for voice chat if you want to use that, maybe because you don't want to plug in headphones or something. I don't know. I guess that's a way to do it. Or maybe you want to just be able to control if your kids can use the voice chat or not. You don't give them your phone. Hard to say. Now, one way to look at this as well is that these icons are for the LAN play, because you can already natively voice chat in Splatoon 2 with LAN play. It already works. If you and a bunch of friends are sitting around in a room, you can natively voice chat or just talk to each other in the room, I guess. I guess that's for if you guys are in a house and you're playing over like a router or something, I guess, or if you're in different rooms, or if you're at a convention, I guess. I don't know, but that's a weird thing to see, to not be able to, because you just talk to each other in the... Anyway, voice chat could be coming to Splatoon 2. Keep in mind, though, those icons could seriously just be to update for the LAN play. And our last bit of news, let's talk about these wireless GameCube controllers from PowerA. Now, PowerA is an interesting company because I don't generally love the feel of their controllers, but I don't completely hate them. They're like in the middle, and that's the thing you look at and you say, okay, I paid $25 for a controller. I'm kind of getting what I paid for it. Now, the reason I got kind of excited when I saw these GameCube controllers is because they're sitting under a $50 price tag. So I like to imagine that there's some quality there. But here are some images of these GameCube controllers. They're going to come in wired or wireless variants. The wired appears to be $25, wireless appears to be $50, and it's going to be using Bluetooth 4.1. They come in several different colors, including purple, black, gray, gold, silver. So they have a bunch of different colors for them. They're currently taking emails if you want to get on an email list for when they start taking pre-orders. They're going to be taking AA's with a 30-hour lifespan, and overall it looks very, very similar to a Wavebird. These are, according to them, officially licensed, and they have the feel of a GameCube controller. So we'll see. I looked over the controller and the renderings as best I could to get an idea. The only thing that concerns me is that the things like the plus and minus button and home and capture, they look kind of like the other controllers that I've seen from them, where they feel kind of cheap and plasticky. So we'll see how this works out. I will be getting one of these, so if you want to wait for me to get one and see how it all feels. I'm concerned about things like the shoulder buttons, how do they feel, and just overall weight of the system. Sometimes these controllers are so light, so we'll see. But I like that we're getting basically what looks like a Wavebird style controller for the GameCube, obviously ahead of Smash. Now, we're trying to figure out when this is coming out. They have other controllers that are on the same page that appear slated for October 15th through Amazon. So really, we just need these for Smash, right? That's what people are going to buy them for. So as long as they're out before December, to get ready for the holidays and everything, and you can pick it up ahead of time for Smash, you should be good. So we'll keep an eye on this, though. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it here for Newswave. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like the video if you liked it, disliked it if not. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about, whether it's TGS, maybe there was a really cool announcement there that you liked. Maybe you liked that list that Sega put out for where everyone voted. Maybe you're excited for the idea of some Dreamcast stuff, maybe coming to the Switch. Let me know about that down below. What about the GameCube controllers or Devil May Cry 5 getting microtransactions? Does it bother you or not? Let me know, guys. I'm very curious. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.